Hello and welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the new moon reading. Alright, we're going to be doing the new moon looking for the sign of Taurus. Alright, one of my subscribers have reached out to me in a comment, and I did promise that I would start the lunar series off with the sign of Taurus. So this one is for her. Alright, we're going to get right into it. We're going to get your Wild Unknown Animal Spirit card out for this new moon period. Now, new moon readings are all about looking at new beginnings, new chapters along the way, sowing seeds, right? It all talks about the very beginnings of new ideas, new projects, coming to a period of evolution in yourself when you suddenly find yourself a new you. You're a whole new you after a period of perhaps some shadow work or some personal, right, work on yourself, spiritual and emotional work that you may have gone through, right, counseling work you may have gone through, and so now you're kind of ready to start your new life, right? So let's see what it's all about. We're going to get your animal spirit card out, Taurus, the one that's walking with you during this next 28-day period. Show me what's going on with Taurus. We want to know what kind of animal spirit is walking with Taurus during this next period. Show me. Beautiful, Tauruses. I am a Taurus rising myself, so I relate to Taurus a lot. Show me. Alright, your Taurus, your animal spirit for this new moon of July is the bear. The bear. Beautiful energy. Alright, earth energy also. Right? So, bear is very, very intelligent, very intuitive, right? Wise, protective, right? The bear is also, you know, Mama Bear, that old story about, you know, I want to say, you know, it's not an old wives' tale, but it's like everybody talks about, you know, that the protective bear, you know, how you can never mess with the bear cub, right? Because Mama Bear is somewhere close, if not right next to her cub, right? Bears do raise their children for nearly 2 years, I believe, before they go off on their own. So, I mean, it's very nurturing energy that you're feeling right now, right? Very strong energy, right? I want to say the bear is probably the most exalted earth element animal, right? Because this is the alchemical symbol for earth up at the top, the upside down triangle with the line through it. The other thing about the bear is that although, you know, there's this very strong, protective, nurturing aspect to the bear, but there's also this, it's also very much a sign of coming out of a period of slumber, right? Because bears hibernate. And so when the bear energy comes out, it's like you're coming out of a long slumber. You're coming out of a spiritual slumber, right? And you're kind of ready to begin a whole new spiritual path. So this is a really beautiful card to pull for a new moon reading because it indicates the start of, and it's a spiritual journey for you, right? Wherever you are in life right now, this begins sort of either the beginning or the next step, right? But there's a new stage in your spiritual journey. And it can't be stopped, really, because the bear has kind of like very, you know, the bear energy is strong, it's forward moving, right? Of course, at first, it seems very sluggish because he's waking up out of a slumber. So, you know, the beginning of this journey can be maybe fits and starts. It can be kind of slow going, right? But once you get going, you're going to be kind of unstoppable, right? A lot of times the bear energy can be quite stumbly, right? Because he's a bear, he kind of like meanders, you know what I mean? Bears aren't necessarily the most graceful creatures per se, you know? They're large, they have this cumbersome feeling to them, so it can feel at times that this journey can be cumbersome. It can be burdensome. There may be obstacles along the way. It's not necessarily a clear, straightforward, journey. There's going to be some problems along the way. And when I say problems, I mean just simply like obstacles, right? Hurdles that you have to get over, but that you will get over by being grounded in a way. Because even though the bear is on a spiritual journey, it's very much earth energy. So there's a grounding there as well that's happening, right? That you can't really deny. Get some of my myrrh and frankincense. So let's get right into your cards. This is beautiful energy for a lunar reading, Taurus. So it could be very much that you are right now about to begin a period of extended sort of spiritual consciousness renewal, right? And this is not to say that you're necessarily going to go off on some kind of retreat or anything like that, but it just means that right now, over this next period of your life, right, a lot of your conscious energy will certainly be focused towards the spiritual. So it could be that in the decision-making process and the way that you go forward, you're just going forward much more from the heart, much more from your spiritual compass, right? You may still carry on with your job and your relationships and all of that, but it just seems that now things are kind of all towards the ultimate spiritual aim, right, for you. Whatever that is for you, whatever that path is for you, right? So let's see what the cards say for our beautiful Taurus is about to embark in the spiritual journey. Let's see what this all means. Show me. Our July new moon readings. Show me. I use the Deviant Moon deck for my lunar readings. It's my new moon and full moon readings. Some people don't like the imagery. They find it kind of harsh. I enjoy it. I really love it myself. But, to each his own. But I do enjoy using this deck because there is a kind of, there's very much a moon kind of energy to the cards, right? A darker kind of lunar energy to the imagery. So let's just see what it's all about, folks. My beautiful Taurus. We're going to go around, take each card in turn, and open up the story that we see unfolding for this period. All right, you can see all the cards there. Beautiful. All right, the bear is right there at your side. In the center, we have Two of Wands. So beautiful. Next step certainly on a spiritual path. Wands are very much the spiritual card covered by Five of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, we have Temperance. So that's Sagittarius coming in for you, right? Temperance is beautiful energy to have alongside a spiritual journey. Because temperance is all about having dominion over our emotions, not letting our emotions, letting us get carried away with our emotions, right? So it's very beautiful energy to have when you're certainly embarking on a new journey. But let's get right into it, Taurus. You have Page of Wands here. So yeah, Page of Wands indicates a new sense of... so now we're going to go deeper into... Wands is very much... court cards are very much about our stages, right? How the stages of us incorporating the essence of that suit. So this suit is Wands. When we get into court cards of the Wands, it's very much about where are we in terms of integrating that side of ourselves. In this case, the fire side, the passion side. Now, of course, the court cards have their very simple interpretations of, people coming in, messages coming in, etc., etc. But there are deeper meanings, and the Page of Wands is beautiful. The Page of Wands, you see him, he's there on his stilts, right? He's on his wand stilts. He's an artist. He's creative, he's just now enjoying his creative freedom. The Page of Wands is just now learning that, he's just now learning how exciting it can feel to be free, to be unencumbered with guilt or embarrassment. He's just now realizing that to be unique and individual, he has to allow his creative expression freedom, right? And space, right? The Page of Wands is just now learning how to get over those baser emotions of embarrassment. He's just now learning how to increase, to kind of get his own self-esteem welled up without the need for others, right? The Page of Wands is at that stage on the rung of Wands where he knows how to have an internal well of confidence that he can tap on. He's learning how to tap into this internal well of esteem and confidence, learning how to speak to him, have that internal voice, to listen to it, to trust it, and more importantly, to give it a creative expression and freedom, which is what Wands is all about, right? And covering that energy for you right now is Five of Pentacles. Now, the other thing with Page of Wands is it furthermore, as a result of this kind of free, creative feeling, right? The Page of Wands can indicate forward motion in projects, coming together, making contact with people, communicating with people, because, now you feel this sense of this creative, deep kind of well, right, of energy, but you want to spread out. You want to go out with that towards others who share the like, who are like-minded and share in that vision. And so also part of this whole energy is that you will be moving and shaking a lot, going towards a lot of friends and people and projects this month to kind of further your goal, right? Five of Pentacles is covering those. So that's the energy of kind of being abandoned. There seems to be an abandonment issue. Could be five is the number for power struggles, and Five of Pentacles indicates power struggles with individuals that tend to leave you financially paying the price, right? So oftentimes the Five of Pentacles is a card indicating to in the traditional deck, it's the two figures that have been kind of like thrown out into the wild, the wilderness, the cold, hard, winter. They seem quite destitute, poverty-stricken, right? It seems as though everyone has turned their back on them, right? And turned their back on them in a way so that they suffer financially, because more than anything, you feel destitution. And the same is here. This character seems to be naked in a way, without any clothing, It's like, wow, you've really left me out here with nothing, And so this energy is coming in. It could be that friends or family, there's something happening with friends or family that's leaving you kind of feeling ostracized or isolated, alienated, right? Could be that things are happening at your job where, you're feeling like you may have to leave. You feel like you can't be there any longer. The tension is too much. You may be finding yourself, although you're feeling very creative right now and coming up with probably a lot of creative solutions to some issues, you are certainly dealing with problems to do with money. And those problems are to do not because so much you're not willing to work for it or anything, but it's to do with power struggles that you're having. Other people, right? Other people are messing with your coin, basically. At the bottom, we have Seven of Swords. So right now, in the back of your head, you've got this desire to fulfill a wish, but don't be too hasty. Seven of Swords indicates don't be too hasty, don't be too quick to try to get what you desire. Make your plans. Take your time to make your plans, because look, if you notice, this character he's made this big show, right? However, it may not end in his favor because the rope is frayed. You can see up here it could break at any moment. So he hasn't made the right preparations. He hasn't taken his time. He wants his goal so badly. He wants to achieve his goal so badly that rather than taking his time and achieving it properly, he's kind of cutting corners, and in the end, it's going to be him who suffers for it, right? You don't get what you want this way. You don't get what you're seeking, right? If you want to be a great performer, right, and you set up a sloppy performance just for the sake of getting out there, the only thing that you accomplish is that you become a laughing stock, and you can really hurt yourself in the process, right? So that's the indication there with Seven of Wands. That's the warning, Take your time to cross your T's and dot your I's and put the proper plans in place. Don't be too hasty to get the dream that you want right now. Certainly with these financial issues, someone around you is not enjoying what they don't like seeing you. Probably, I get the feeling that they don't like, or they're very jealous of this whole new creative this whole new creative independence. Could very much be like a job, like I said, a job situation where you're exploding and budding, and this is jealousy, and so people are cutting you out of projects and stuff, and it's affecting your coin, your purse, your paycheck. So like I said, excuse me, I have to take a sip of iced coffee. Take care, though, not to be too hasty. And here we got Knight of Swords coming in. So there's someone you know who's very, very intelligent. You really look up to them. They're excellent with their words. They're coming in to help out with this situation, right? This could be a family member, a friend. This could be your lover. I'm not sure yet until we get through the rest of the cards. But someone very close to you is coming in like a knight in shining armor. And it's their words, their intellect, their ideas that is going to help you through this scenario. All right, they're very enthusiastic. They're just as enthusiastic about you being who, you know, this new creative stage of yours as you are. But they want to come in to help. They, you know, they want to help you. They want to support you. They support your decisions, and they know, and they're coming in a way with this energy because they know that right now you're getting some flack, you're getting some pressure from others. You're coming from a period of 8 of Cups, and 8 being the number for boundaries, right? And strengths and weaknesses. So you're coming from a period where you've learned how to set up certain boundaries, Taurus, right? You're no longer just going to accept anything in a relationship. You know, you realize that now you need, you know, people need to fulfill certain criteria. You know, you have a certain standard that this person needs to live up to, right? And I'm not saying that you didn't have before, but this happens for all of us. And Lord knows, this has happened to me many times where I've gotten involved with people who simply were really not worth my time, you know, or my energy. But because I was so much trying to, you know, because I empathize with them, right? First of all, I empathize with them. I felt sorry for them, you know, and a lot of times, right? And so because of that empathy, a lot, you know, they may have been in difficult circumstances. Because of that empathy and that kind of really feeling sorry for them in a way, you know, I didn't hold them accountable, right? I gave them a pass from the very beginning. This is what we do. We give people passes at the very beginning of a relationship because we almost make certain assumptions and we make certain judgment calls about them because maybe they've had a rough time or maybe you know what I mean? Because we empathize with them or because we feel sorry for them. But, you know, the problem with that, though, is that, you know, when you don't hold somebody accountable from the door, they will never be held accountable, right? You can't expect them later on to step to a plate that you didn't require them to step to from the beginning. And so what happens later on when we remain with that person and they don't act the way we want them to act, another assumption that we make, right? We're kind of, you know, we're resentful. We're scorned. We're like, oh, shit, you know, he never got his shit together. Well, he didn't get his shit. He never had his shit together, right? And who said that he was going to get his shit together just because you're with him, right? So these are a lot of assumptions that we make, right? And they start at the very beginning when we get together with somebody and we don't hold them accountable because oftentimes we feel sorry for them or we empathize with them or we put ourselves in their shoes, but we are not them and they are not us, right? And so 8 of Cups very much talks about realizing that you're finally at that point in your life where you realize, hang on a second, I don't have to give everyone a pass. I'm sorry that, you know, you're at the point that you're at in your life. I'm sorry, you know, for all of these things. But guess what? I need whoever's going to be with me, I need for them to be able to, you know, I need to hold them accountable. They need to be able to hold themselves accountable. And they need to be able to be responsible for their actions at the very outset. Or else I can't deal with you. You know, that's a criteria. That's a standard. And you see the character turning her face and her hands are up and like, oh, please, you know, no more with these empty cups, you know, these BS cups that have nothing in them. No integrity, no kind of sense of standing up, you know, no kind of sense of taking responsibility for yourself, you know, and it's just like enough is enough, right? And you do have to make a conscientious decision to do that and stick by it in order to bring in proper relationships, right? So you're coming out of that right now, and certainly with this new energy that you're having, this new renewed sense of creativity, you're holding people accountable. I believe that if this individual here, this Knight of Swords, is in your life, this person is someone that is up to your standard. Because as I say, you just decided that you're no longer going to take any other nonsense, right? You're working towards a deeper, higher level of commitment and relationship with individuals because you have so much more to give, right? And it's just you have a lot to give to a relationship, and you're only really asking for the same in return. King of Pentacles is here, says there's someone in your life certainly coming in who's going to help with you guys, maybe a benefactor. I believe this is very much could be your partner, Taurus. This could be your partner certainly coming in like, hey, look, we're going to do this together. We're going to figure this out, right? We're going to get our dreams. Let's take our time. They see you wanting to rush, and they see that rushing can really end in kind of, can end in tears. It's not going to end well, and they want you to take your time, but they know it's quite difficult right now, certainly with this Five of Pentacles energy from work and money. So somebody sees you both struggling and trying. This could be a family member or a friend, but they have money, and they're going to come in and help you guys out. They may come in and just, help you to figure out this scenario at work. They may come in and put the kibosh on whatever this bullying is that's going on at work, because it could very much be bullying as well. But I just feel like this character is someone that you look up to, someone that you respect, someone who has a lot of integrity, who has a lot of money, who has certainly a lot of abundance that they've worked very hard for. This is an older person, an established person, and they're here to help. You're going to find yourself in the forefront. You feel very much like you worked very hard, and I believe that you certainly feel like it's time for you to get the status that you deserve in a way, right? Nine of Pentacles talks about certainly having attained a lot, getting there, having attained a certain status, although part of that status at Nine of Pentacles is realizing that you're quite alone, right? This is the one that's, this is when the figure is in the garden of all of the abundance that they've worked for, and they enjoy the money that they have, they enjoy the lifestyle and everything, but they do realize they're in the garden alone, right? And so they have all their hopes and dreams. Again, nines is always going to indicate that kind of disconnect, because 9 is the Hermit card. Right? Major Arcana 9 is Hermit card. So 9s in all the suits always indicate this sense of separation, alienation, understanding that you're actually apart or alone in your money or in your wish fulfillment. And here, certainly in your money and your status and your abundance, you do have this kind of, this card seems to indicate a feeling of like, well, I'm here now, but I don't want to be alone. I want to enjoy this with someone else. Right? I want to share this, this wealth that I've attained is not enjoyable unless I share it with my person. Right? And I think that this could just very well be, and I'm not saying that this means you're alone or that you're having problems in your relationship. I just think that Taurus, as a result of some of these work issues, career issues, this King of Pentacles coming in, and this whole new kind of creative stage, right? Creative and spiritual stage that you're taking, right? Abundance is coming in for you, a more kind of stable, enduring level of abundance is coming in, right? And monetary wealth is coming in. However, you are very much aware and working towards a future, a different kind of future with your money. It could be that up until now, right, it's been very much about just working to get yourself established and to get your goals, right, to get your dreams. And your dreams and goals that you saw for yourself, you always imagined you yourself experiencing a certain lifestyle, right? And that's the vision you had in your head, and that's what you've worked towards. But I think that now that you're coming actually into that stage, right, you're achieving that goal, you're having this kind of spiritual and creative awakening. And so what's happening is almost in your head, right in your focus of your head, suddenly it's like as if your wish or the image that you have for yourself, that future image we all have of where we see ourselves. Now that future image, you see yourself, but you don't see yourself alone anymore. You don't just see yourself experiencing your abundance. You see yourself with a partner and a family experiencing your abundance. Your vision and your goals and your dreams now have room in them for someone else. And you know that ultimately that is your real main goal. Even though maybe up until now, you've just sort of instinctively and without even realized it, always ever just imagined yourself experiencing your dreams, right? When we see ourselves in the future, we see ourselves perhaps living somewhere or flying somewhere, having a certain lifestyle, when we fantasize, It's interesting. If you really take a look at how you see yourselves, how often do you see yourself doing these things by yourself? How often do you imagine yourself with a partner or with a partner and children? You know, there. It's a lot of times we're not consciously aware of what we're fantasizing about, right? We're in the fantasy and enjoying it. But if you take a step back and look at it, these fantasies and these goals and visions and dreams we have for ourselves can very much change. And I think for you, it is. I think that up until now, the goal and the vision has always been a very solitary one. And now, all of a sudden, your goals and visions are taking into account your person, perhaps, you know, maybe even the prospect of children, because you realize, oh, and there's Ace of Pentacles, there's a lot of money coming in. You may be expecting an inheritance as well. Honestly, Taurus, right? You may be coming unexpectedly. You may be getting an inheritance. This person coming in may be giving you a windfall of some sort. All right, because this elevation to this status, you have King of Pentacles on one side, and here we go with Ace of Pentacles. I mean, Ace of Pentacles is beautiful. In this deck, it's a dragon with a pentacle. You know, it's like the, you know, that to me is just the utmost wealth, like real wealth opportunity. Dragons love nothing more than gold, right? Pure gold. They bathe in it. And they must have tons of it. So Ace of Pentacles certainly indicates here in this deck a huge opportunity to get a lot of money. You know, I feel like certainly it could be a windfall. It could be an inheritance. It could be at work. This kind of Five of Pentacles. Let me tell you something. Five being power struggles. Right now, you could be having a power struggle at work. And you may come out, and it could be a power struggle for ownership of the company. It could be a power struggle for getting a majority of the board, a majority percentage of the board, or the stock option. It could be something in that level, right? And it's a hard, you know, it's a major power struggle, but through your kind of renewed sense of like creativity and this bursting kind of Page of Wands energy, right? And this Knight of Swords coming in that's helping you not be too hasty, right? This power struggle may indeed come out up here to be, yes, you win, you get the company. Now you own the company. Now you own the board. Now you have the majority holding, right? Now you got the lease for a new location, whatever the case may be, something like that, right? You got the go ahead on a project. You got the funding that you wanted, right? All as a result of the struggle here. Certainly a lot of money coming in and prosperity. Ugh, beautiful. And here we go, Four of Wands. How beautiful is that? Right? So what I said up here is very much the case. You're adjusting your goal to fit someone else in. Right here is where the seed was sown. No longer taking shallow relationships that don't fit quite into your criteria. That decision came first and already happened. Your person is coming in. For those of you who are involved, this is your person coming in to help you. They're the knight in shining armor to assist. They're going to help you not be too hasty here. But you've got people looking out. And you've now realized, yes, I'm about to get everything I wanted, but I know I want to share it. So that already is starting to vibrate you higher because of that decision that you've made here. Whenever you make a decision to be more expansive and sharing rather than closed in and denying, you instantly start to vibrate a little bit higher. Oh, please excuse that. Hang on. Sorry about that. Living in the city, right? And so, yeah, and so now you reach this abundance, but you also reach this spiritual awakening where you realize, yes, I'm getting abundance. I'm getting this money coming in, but I want to share it. I don't want to be alone in it. I want to share it with my loved ones, my family. I may even want to do philanthropic things. I may want to be a humanitarian. I don't want to wallow alone. I don't want to be alone up here at the top of the mountain, you know, just enjoying my money and success. I want to share it, and that desire to want to share it brings in the relationship, the true desire and commitment. And not only here comes your abundance, and here comes your Four of Wands, stability in relationships, because you've made this decision and now your intention has been sent out to the universe clearly with focus. Not only have you sent your intention out clearly with focus, but you have done the hard work of backing it up. Not just the lip service. So many people have so much lip service. It's unbelievable. You know what I mean? They can sit in their houses all day long with, you know, you can have a 24-hour sage bud burning with crystals surrounding you and just meditating all day long, and they step outside their house and they're the most colossal asshole you have ever met in your entire life. There's not 1 ounce of actual effort that they have put into anything that they were just messing around with on the surface, right? And then I know people who have, sat in the house, just, not done any of that. They just quietly said a little prayer, allow me to be, the best that I can be. And they step out their house. And for the whole day, they certainly are the best they can do. They can be. They exercise temperance and kindness and generosity, right? And they didn't need all the other nonsense. They just needed the commitment. And their commitment, their intention, their clear intention was worth so much more than all of the nonsense that other people try to think is worth anything. And so here you are, sending that intention out into the universe. Clearly brings you your 4 of Wands. Stability in relationships, soulmate energy, twin flames, beautiful. And judgment. Judgment comes in at the end of that, right? And now you're completely free. Now you completely lose all the shackles and bonds that you may have ever had, because all of this whole journey has been one giant reaffirmation that you are where you should be, that you are true and virtuous, right? And you also become free of judgment from others. This whole kind of process has been one kind of very enlightening process for you. It is but a stage on your spiritual journey. Remember, you're waking up from a slumber, and this waking up process is bringing in so much, right, that you lose all judgment that you had before. And when I say waking up from a slumber, this is not to indicate that you haven't been spiritual before. This could also indicate that you're just coming out of a period where you haven't necessarily employed a lot of what you've been teaching yourself, learning, experiencing, expanding. It's that you've been very quietly working, away on yourself, right? Healing, right? Perhaps going to counseling, therapy, things of that nature, doing self-help and self-therapy. But now you're kind of ready to come out of that period. Also, Bear can also indicate coming out of that period and coming into a period of action with that, putting it into action, right? Putting all of that work into action in your everyday decisions and the everyday pattern of behaviors that you adopt. It's no good to have all the and good intentions in the world, but to be completely unable to change your behavior patterns to adjust to that. You must be able to change your behavior patterns. You must be able to change your decision-making processes. Oftentimes I do readings with individuals and they're like, I feel like I've really reached a stage, where I know, I've reached I'm very confident in my spirituality, and I know I'm empathic and I'm picking up on all of these positive energies, right? And, but I just don't understand why you won't speak to me. I just don't understand why you won't talk to me now. And it's like, okay, so like, you've done all of this kind of work on yourself, and you've done all of this, confidence building in your intuition and spirituality, right? So now you have to put in emotion. You have to listen to it. And it's the fear is still so strong. The fear, it's like, yeah, I know that. Oftentimes the client will say, I know that and I feel that, but I just, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's like, you know what I mean? That last little hurdle of truly trusting yourself and believing yourself and acting on all of that is really the hardest thing for anyone to do. And I meet a lot of people, and I read for a lot of people who do all of the hard spiritual kind of work and soul searching, but when it comes time to actually put all of that into place and listen to their intuition and act on it and adjust their behavior to it, they're just incapable of doing it. They're just too afraid to let go, And so this judgment, I feel like here now you've gotten so much reaffirmation that you're on your right spiritual journey. I believe that, hopefully you get to this point of truly letting go, truly trusting, right? Because that's what the judgment card is all about. It's seeing through the eye of Horus. It's seeing all sides at once and understanding that, You know, no one is guilty and no one is innocent. There is no such thing as guilty and innocence to begin with. Right? Temperance, remember, right? Temper yourself, right? Watch your feelings, your emotions, right? This is the energy that's underneath all of this, pushing you forward. This is a beautiful reading, Taurus. I'm going to call it, this is your new moon reading for July. Wow. Gorgeous energy. You get everything you want, and your clear intention and your clear decision to commit and follow through is what brings in real love, creativity, and a solution to your problems. For those of you, by the way, that Taurus out there who was wondering about whether or not if they, this is it. This is you and your person coming together, living together. Four of Wands. This is the stability that you are searching for, right? And how you get there, right? The solution that will get you to here is coming through all of this work. Your person is coming in to help you. You're going to work together on this. They have a lot of, you know, they have that Knight of Swords, that way of thinking through, coming up with solutions. Take care not to be too hasty. Taking your time, right? And remaining vigilant and keeping your eye open for this individual who is either a relative or a friend or someone on the job, someone who cares for you, who's going to help you. Take the help. Take it. If someone is there to help you, who's genuine and wants to offer you help, please don't do what a lot of people do. Say, oh, no, I don't need it. No, say, yeah, thank you very much. I'll take that help. Because this help that's coming in is what's going to lead you over the hump and get you to your Ace of Pentacles, and you two are going to be together in the same home, living very happy. All right? If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, share, comment below, all of that good stuff. If you want to get a private reading, all you got to do is follow that link at the bottom of your screen. But for right now, this is your new moon July reading for Taurus. Bye-bye now.